Ryan with Miss.Geek here, and today we're taking a look at the BITX40 board. That if you've been a follower of my blog, you've seen this board many times. And this board was purchased brand new in 2016. I think it was November, December of 2016, back before the Arduino came out with its SI5351 based VFO. So this one originally had the analog VFO on it, and was ready to go with that. And I switched it over to, let's see here. I switched it over to a QRP Labs VFO kit, even at one point, and then ended up making a custom VFO for it. Did a bunch of modifications to it. Injected a BFO to be able to switch sidebands quickly and easily from the BFO without having to go through, the inverting the VFO and things like that. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, it's okay. But you'll notice there's a lot of parts missing from this board. The entire VFO is gone. Instead of a capacitor here, a variable capacitor here, or a variable capacitor here, you can actually see I've got some resistors. So I'll explain that. And you'll also see that the bandpass filter is missing. The entire PA section is missing with the exception of this preamp, which I'm going to need. But everything is kind of missing. This is not a complete radio right now. The crystal from the BFO is removed. This thing is getting revamped. Sorry for the wobble. I'm working with a new phone holder so that I can do these videos hands-free. But I'm keep bumping my table, inducing the aforementioned wobble. But basically, this is the BITX40, and BITX means bidirectional transceiver. And the reason is this: each of these sections here is a bidirectional amplifier, and so basically it's split into this side is an amplifier, this side is an amplifier, and they're facing different directions. So one of them is for the inbound, and one of them is for the outbound, so for receiving and for transmitting. And depending on which side you give power, if you give power to this side, it's the transmit side. If you give power to this side, it's the receive side. I believe I have that correct. I might have it reversed. But the signal takes the same path, and it's just whichever side is powered, that's the direction it amplifies the signal. So we've got the crystal filter, we've got the diode ring mixer, and so we've got all the amplifiers for everything. So there's three of them total. This is the single sideband exciter, basically. So this produces the audio out. This is the This is the LM386 audio amplifier. And then we have a mic preamp right here, and those all kind of work together. You can look at the schematic and see how it works. But because I'm going to be feeding this with an SI5351 VFO and BFO, I did not do this previously, and I kind of wished I had. I have installed a 3 dB pad by using the capacitor, the variable or trimmer capacitor mounts. So I've installed a 3 dB pad. So this is for the VFO, and this is for the BFO. I've got these pins here that are mounted underneath the board, or mounted through the board, I should say. And then that actually connects over here underneath the board. So it goes through the pad, and it connects over here. And this one goes through the pad and connects here at these transformers, which is how the original circuit worked. So why am I doing all this? Well, for one, I'm going to be using QRP Labs. My mind just went blank. I'm going to be using QRP Labs bandpass filters. I'm also going to be using a QRP Labs PA kit, and then there will be another bandpass or low pass filter after that. And the QRP Labs PA kit is their 10 watt linear amplifier. and I'm going to go ahead and use it as 10 watts. That's what it's designed for. I could, well, of course, cut it down to 5 watts if I want, but this is a sideband rig. 10 watts is still QRP. I'm not going to try to convert it to use CW. I'm not interested in that. This is not. I have a beautiful CW radio in the QRP Labs QCX Mini, and I'm going to be building another one, or another QCX of some kind. I haven't decided which yet. So one of the problems with this, well, one of the problems is these. This is the crystal filter, and it's at 12 megahertz, and unfortunately that interacts with the 16 megahertz clock on the Arduino. So I've got a bag of new crystals here, and I'm going to be switching to the same frequency used in the micro BITX, which is the 11.0592 megahertz crystals. And so these will be coming out, and I'll be replacing those and moving the crystal filter down so that it doesn't interact. That'll take care of some birdies and some other issues that the BITX40 has had. And hopefully these also will take care of some awful clicking I had with the tuning knob. It was, every time you tune, it's terrible clicks. The other thing is, one thing I did not quite understand previously is why, whenever I switched away from the QRP Lab, or away from the original bandpass filter using the QRP Labs filters, it just didn't perform as well. And I've done a lot more reading. Wes Hayward, W7ZOI, on his website, he does an analysis of the BITX bidirectional amplifier circuit, and he also covers the one that's used in the micro BITX. And the micro BITX also uses yet a different crystal filter that has transformers on both ends, but this one doesn't need transformers. And the reason for that is that the crystals need to operate around 200 ohms impedance. Well, these amplifiers are 170 ohm amplifiers. They're not 50 ohms. In fact, one of the beauties of the BITX, the original BITX design, is that it's fewer parts. The BITX, micro BITX uses 3 times the transistors. So there's many fewer parts here. And so that's a beautiful thing. And it means you don't need more transformers for the crystal filter. But that also means that the bandpass filter was designed for a higher ohm impedance, and that the PA was designed to accept a higher ohm impedance. That's great for what it was. But when I used the QRP Labs bandpass filters, it just wasn't performing correctly. It'd do fine on 20 meters, but on 40 it didn't work. So now I know that that's because this section is 170 ohm, and I was expecting this to be 50 ohms, so there's an impedance mismatch there. And so what I'm going to be doing to resolve that is I'm going to be installing one of these. This is a 4-to-1 transformer. So I'm going to be installing a 4-to-1 transformer in this area here. And then I'll probably be putting a bandpass filter board off to the side. So I'm going to need more real estate for this. This board's just, I'm outgrowing this board is what's happening. So I'm going to be doing that. And then I'm probably just going to make another, I'm not going to use this, I don't think. I'm going to make a preamp circuit to go into the PA. And that might even be on a different board as well. We'll see. So that's where we're at. So I've got to tear these out and replace them. I'm going to have to characterize some of the new ones, make sure I get them within, I think, 30 hertz of each other, 30 to 50 hertz of each other. So I'm going to do another video about that when I get to it. And I've got to build another 4-to-1 here. That 4-to-1 will take it down to from roughly 170 ohms. If it's a quarter of that, then it'll be about 43 ohms, 42.5 ohms, which is fine. That's very little mismatch between 42.5 and 50 versus 170 and 50. And then I've got to basically just rebuild the radio. I'm gonna have to build a new VFO for it, and yeah, hopefully it works out really well. I'm really excited to get this thing back on the air. It's been quite a while. It quit working one day, and it was just kind of a hodgepodge of fixes and repairs, and I decided to tear it down and start over. So now that I can see everything, I actually found the problem. One of the, I think it was the transformer that's right here. One of the wires had broke on it, and I couldn't find it until I tore it down. So sometimes tearing down can really help you build back up. So I've got these 3dB pads in there. That was the first big change I did, was getting these VFO and BFO inputs nice and firmly in, and also getting it the 3dB pads in. That was a nice little hack, I thought. I was really proud of using those mounts to do that, because one of them has to be grounded and the one's in, one's out. So it's just a little T attenuator pad. I think it's a T. It might be a pi. I forget. Anyway, so that's that. I'll be doing more videos as I go along with rebuilding this, and that'll be in the next few weeks. I'm not in a hurry to do this. I've got a lot going on right now, but I just want to do a quick video to show you what was up with this. So feel free to leave your input below. Tell me what you think. If you have any ideas for modifications, I'm all ears, and I'll look forward to your input. So thanks for watching, and 73, and we'll see you next time.